Should honestly spray something in here that doesn't smell like that. I didn't realize how good of a deal I gave that guy until I looked into the box full of the shit that he was supposed to buy from me and realized I had some really nice shit in there for $100. So with him deciding that he didn't want to pay me and me deciding the shit that I had was obviously worth more than $100, deal's off. Waited 10 months. Not gonna wait anymore. This bad boy sold yesterday for a whopping $45. Minus shipping, that brings me about $38. No complaints from me on that one. I should probably open that other box. If I let it sit there for too long without checking, some of the stuff might start rotting. I really don't want my celluloid knives to be rotting in a box with other celluloid knives. I think celluloid turns into nitric acid when it starts devolving. Oh, they're all beautiful. Just as beautiful as they were when I got them. Best Life, what's up? How's it going? I do like me a good trapper. I really do. I just don't buy them very often. But since we're talking about old knives, and I've got my box with old knives in it pulled out, let me show you guys two of my oldest knives. Back in 25, I got really interested in the vintage knives from way back in the day, of course. And my journey was to save them because I know they're just going to be thrown away. And these were pieces of history that I thought were important. This one is a Canton Cutlery Co. made around 1911. It is their model style A11, I believe. Yeah, style number A11. It has celluloid covers with a photograph hidden behind them. Well used. Canton Cutlery Company used a proprietary steel called Crovan, and they made a big deal out out of this stuff, advertising it. I was only ever able to find one marketing flyer, and I've never seen another one of these since. So that one's my oldest model. The next oldest, I believe... No, it's not the next oldest, but it's up there. I have a Case Peanut? No, a Case Tadpole. From the 30s. This thing's damn near 100 years old. It's in damn good condition for being old as shit, but I think this is before they started doing the double tested, the XX on their stuff, where it just says tested instead. Tiny, tiny piece. Celluloid scales with a cracked ice looking vinyl type material behind them. You can see the white is the vinyl with celluloid covering. Really, really old piece. I got that one for about $40. $40s. That is low. Damn. Another older piece that I have. We're going through a box of just my older stuff. Ulster knives. These were made in New York, I believe, way back in the day. The company, I don't believe, was around for very long, but they did the same practice with the celluloid covers and the cracked ice looking vinyl behind it. They've held up astonishingly well for carbon steel blades. I am very, very proud to see that. Now, something that I'd like to show you guys that you guys might find interesting is celluloid slowly deteriorates. Anyway, you'll notice a Hamon looking line on this knife. And what that actually is corrosion on the top half because it stayed closed for so long that was the only spot that was overly exposed to air. I'm willing to bet that the other blade has the same thing going on. I'm not going to polish them. I'm going to leave them as is. Of course, I'll put a little bit of oil on them before I put them away, but other than that, they will stay as is. Celluloid sucks, yes, it does. It's similar to acrylic, but it turns into a highly corrosive gas when it starts deteriorating over time. It usually happens around, I think, year 70, and then it starts turning into this noxious gas. So this is a trick knife from, God, I don't remember who made it. Anyway, the whole point of this knife is that you hand it off to somebody and they have to figure out how to open it, kind of a thing. And you have to do it like this and push on the blade. And then to close it, you have to go the other way. And the way they do this, there's a bar, like a stop pin that sits there, and it moves. right? And it goes into this and holds the blade closed. Really, really cool stuff. I believe that one was made in the 30s or 40s as well, but I don't remember. It is pretty safe. That's probably my favorite knife in my vintage collection. I have a Camillus from the 50s. This thing looks damn near perfect. And I have a Craftsman from the 90s, I think. So the Craftsman first. This one's in stainless. Rust resistant ACA edge. So you'll notice maybe that the blade on this one is crooked. And the reason why is because they have the same spring for both the blade and this file, the fingernail file. And it uses black Delrin covers. So the blade's crooked and it goes straight down and then over and then around. And as for the Camillus that I was talking about, I believe that this is a Camillus anyway. I haven't checked in a while. Yep. Camillus, New York. From in the 50s. This thing is a number 43 with celluloid scales again. This one has a bail and a nail file. The blade is in damn near brand new condition for being a 70-year-old knife or so. It's in pretty solid condition, and I can appreciate that. I bought it because of that. Mr. Mouse, what's up? And of course, every time before I put this one away, I oil the blade on it. The thing is, they didn't want you taking your stuff apart back then. They were built to last a lifetime, and with the honest truth being, they kind of did. These things, a lot of times, lasted the life of the person. I suppose you wouldn't know if it's a if it's a replica, but I don't know why you'd replicate something that sells used for about 10, 20 bucks. They're just not worth replicating. I'd argue maybe you're onto something if it was worth like $300 or $400, but they're just not. Like I said, those are pieces where somebody donated them, or I actually found my oldest knife in a thrift store. I got it for $3, and I did my research and found out it's old as shit and kept it because I feel bad throwing it away. It's like the second oldest thing in the house, short of a couple Morgan silver dollars. I would agree with that, yes. If you get one in MagnaCut, it's probably a replica. Anybody able to tell me the supposed stuff about ProCut? I've never really looked into that steel. I've heard good things about it, but I know nothing about it. Yeah, so we have a FN high power that was made in 1943 after the Nazis took over Belgium. I believe that's where it was that they were being made at the time. So the thing about that is before they took over, right, the Allies were using high powers against Germany at the time. And when they took over, they decided that they didn't need bluing, not bluing. They didn't need all the finishing stuff, so they put their proof marks on them, and then just threw them out the door as fast as they could. And they're still great pistols. They just have some unsavory marks. In my opinion, it's more of a piece of history and a strong reminder of how far people are willing to go for their values. I don't support the cause. I'm quite disgusted by it. But it is an interesting part of history how necessity breeds the fastest evolutions of things. Oh, okay. Anyway, the high power was a great pistol back then, and it still is. Both sides were using it up until the end of the war. A family friend's husband brought it back from Germany after the war, and it was sitting in a cereal box for years after her husband died. She doesn't like firearms, so she said she didn't want it in the house, offered it to us, having never looked at it, mind you. She'd never looked at the thing. And yeah, it just ended up being what we got. It's a very, very interesting pistol. Super comfortable, by the way. Actually, really, really comfortable. It's one of my favorites. We got a Springfield SA-35 to replace it because we don't like shooting the older guns. It's kind of like me using those knives that I was just showing off earlier. It's had its age. It's been through a lot, and you kind of just want to retire it and let it sit there. You know, that's kind of how it is. But the Springfield SA-35 is also a great pistol. I love that thing. Although from factory, the follower, not the follower, the magazine spring was tight. You couldn't fit more than 7 rounds in there and have it function, even though I think it's a 20, no, I think it's a 17 round mag. You can verify that. I don't know for sure. Yeah, I don't know who makes high powers now. I know Springfield does, but I don't know where they're made. Probably in America, but you can never tell. Maybe not. It wasn't exactly the most expensive. Yeah. That one, so I was talking about, I've been complaining about this deal that I made forever ago. Like 10 months ago or whatever, and the deal included all of these and a Civivi something or other. I don't remember what model it was. The Civivi was $60 alone. But anyway, it was all these for $100. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. FN's probably still making those. And the more I look into it, the more I realized I kind of fucked myself over with that deal. Yeah, Pops Pro Cut. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, a little bit ago. I don't know anything about it. I've heard good things, but I haven't seen any testing on Laren's website or anything. And I've never tested it myself. I do enjoy doing edge retention testing, by the way. I don't do it on camera because it usually doesn't last that long. I cut cardboard about 3 times faster than Knives, I guess, does. So his streams, if his stream is going to last 8 hours, it lasts me like 2.5. Okay. I think Laren Thomas helped with development of that one, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So this one here is a Western. No, it's a Schrade. A Schrade Walden. Made in Walden, New York. Camillus. Yep, Camillus. And yeah, an old timer. Who videos were you talking about it? I saw you say something up there, but Erica EDC. I just realized the other day, it's not something I often think about, but my sister was saying something while I was watching a video, and I'm like, not paying attention, like, at all to what she was saying. And instantly I was like, well, that's weird. I don't think I follow any women that do EDC content. I have one of them blocked because I have been told that she gets paid to do her reviews, and I don't. It's not honest at that point. You have a financial benefit of you continuing to give solid reviews. If you get the knife for free, it's a little bit different, but if you're getting paid to do a review on it, I'm not going to pay attention to your shit. Yeah, he does. I don't really watch his content, to be honest. I mean, the new steels I'm definitely interested in. She does. That's a lot of subscribers. Hate to say it, but I'm probably not going to follow her then. I kind of like the smaller guys. Oh, yeah, no, I blocked her because it doesn't feel honest. You know, out of all of the videos that I've ever watched that she made, I don't think I've seen a single negative review. You know how hard it is to do that? To buy only good knives? Yeah, I got what you were talking about. I don't remember what the other chick's name was, but I get what you were going with. You know how hard it is to buy only knives that are good? I have complaints about almost every model that I own. My Nkosi I have complaints about. It's my favorite knife, but I still have a complaint. It's not huge, but I kind of wish that it had a steel lock bar insert instead of the ball, the detent ball. It sounds dumb. I know it's slightly better, but I feel like that lock bar wears in faster with the. Oh, I like their clips, actually. I prefer the metal injection molded clip. my Nkosi's up in my room because I decided to carry this today and I cracked my screen protector because of the fucking flipper tab. My fault. I'll just not carry knives that have flipper tabs like that anymore. So these are out of the question. Yeah, if you don't like the factory ones like this, you can get the MIM clips, and they're a lot more comfortable than these ones are. No, I kind of like it. Now that it cracked my screen protector, I'm not super happy with it anymore, but I still don't even know how that happened. I really don't. I know exactly how it, like what caused it. Yeah, I like their MIM clips. The thing is, I need to get my clip glass blasted. It's really, really hard on pockets. And the clip is also 40 bucks. Unless you get it glass blasted, then it's 50. I should probably just sit here and rub my hand against it until... Actually, can I get something more aggressive than my hand? I want to wear in this spot right here. Because this spot, it's really, really hard on pockets. And I want to carry this. You should send it to me and I'll bring it in. I mean, you'll have to pay me for shipping back and stuff, but it'll cost you less. I heard somewhere that they charge like 20 bucks to have it shipped back to you, so... And I charge like, let's see, it's going to be 6 plus insurance, so about 12 bucks. And instead of having to wait forever for your, that's another thing, right? A lot of them are too stiff. Yeah, I agree. I had to bend all of my Chris Reeve pocket clips to make them more comfortable. Yeah. So glass blasting is 50. Oh wow, that wore in really quick. I just decided to go with the strop. And then shipping is, I believe, 20 bucks back. The thing is, if you send it to me, it's like you save like $8 in shipping, and you don't have to wait to be put on the on their list. I've heard turnaround on that takes 3 weeks to a month, and when you walk in and drop it off, they usually have it done next day. Licking it before. No, I'm not gonna do that. Gross. I'm gonna go swap back to the mem clip. Chicken fried steak, what's up? Yeah, when I dropped my Sebenza off to have it glass blasted, they had it oh yeah. No, that works. Honestly, that's the way that I recommend doing it. I wish my buddy would have taken advantage of that. Gas isn't exactly cheap, you know. I'm gonna be right back. I'm going and grabbing my Nkosi. I'm gonna put the mem clip on. Okay. Yeah, let's not slip and bust my ass as soon as I'm about to sit down. Hey, lower the heat in here? God damn. It's hot as shit in here. Okay. Oh yeah, so I can be wet and hot at the same time? Hell no. Nope. No good solutions from you. Never. I suppose it kind of just depends on how quickly you want your reefs back, right? I've never had to wait very long to get mine back because, right, I drop it off. I say, hey, can you do this? They're like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, cool. And then next day it's finished and I just come pick it up. They give me a call and I'm like, awesome. And I come pick my shit up and then I'm happy. Oh, look at that. And that's so much more comfortable because it's not sticking up and stabbing you in the hand. I like to think that I'm kind of funny sometimes. Good 5% of the time. Nobody else agrees, but a wee bit of a fucked up sense of humor, I guess. It does. It looks so much better with this clip on there. I love that clip. I just want the clip to wear in, too. Everything needs a clip. I'm not sure about that one. I didn't know you still followed me. I figured you got bored. Oh, man. Not very many of you are going to get that. You'd have to be my age to get that. Just bought a clip insert. Not gonna lie, I've carried my Sebenza a few times without the clip. Same with my Unums on. I carried that thing for a little while without the clip. You're close, but you get where I was going with that. I'm glad somebody got that reference. Makes me feel old when people don't get it, and young at the same time. Hate being stuck. Yeah, I know exactly who it is. Use those for testing later. Nope. That's a lanyard pin. One screw. The backspacer isn't factory. It kind of looks factory and it feels so much better with it. The downside is every Sebenza I've ever picked up without the backspacer feels wrong now. It's funny because I only ever watched that video from him. It always bugged me. I hated that. That's why my Unums on doesn't have the pin in it either. That one rattled the hell and back. Oh, you son of a bitch. I'm going to repost the Civivis for sale again. You guys see that Hawk Knives is hiring? I follow them on Instagram and I saw that they're hiring. I can't help you much with the not owning a bug out. I think Gavin Hawk owns Hawk Knives. I'm pretty sure Grant died, so... But, I'm very blunt when I say stuff like that. I don't think that the words passed away give the importance of what happened. It's a dramatic thing. It really is. But yeah, I can't help you much with the with the bug out thing because I only have 2 of them and I'm keeping both of them. Unless you want this one that has a known issue. It's an absolute beater and I would love to get rid of it. Who was it that was looking for a custom a while ago? And by a while ago, I mean like last week. I wish I remembered names better. I should probably check if anybody has sent me any message requests on Instagram. Dude, I can't remember what I had for breakfast. What makes you think? Patches Sticker Hub. Sent me a message. Okay. Give me a sec. These. The Talon and the Deadlock. And the Deadlock, or the Talon Auto now. Anyway, they're hiring. I applied. We'll see if I get the job or not. They're a ways out, though. An hour to an hour and a half drive out. Would it suck to do that daily? Probably not. I enjoy driving. Would it suck to do that in the winter? Definitely. Mean. So mean. Anyway, I've wanted a Talon for a while, but I hope I win him over with saying that I'm a YouTuber and that I disassemble and reassemble knives all the time. Specifically, that most last part right there. but they're looking for people to do assembly. Production, assembly, and shipping. I can't do CNC stuff. I don't know how to do that. And metal finishing and sandblasting. I could probably finish that. A lot of people find me annoying when I correct them, so witty isn't exactly a benefit, unfortunately. You know what? I'm going to tell them. One of my subscribers told me to cover my hands, and I decided not to. Then I'm just not going to get hired because of the way my hands look. Michael Jackson gloves. That's not a terrible idea. Pulls all the attention away from my face. Might actually get hired that way. You know, maybe not all of your recommendations are dog shit. Let's sharpen a knife or two. I don't even know if I'm going to get an interview, but we'll see. I applied tonight. Well, last night. Most recommendations are dog shit. Yep. Oh, yeah, I was moving stuff so I could sharpen something. My next Grail knife, I'm going to have engraving done under the pocket clip. I don't know what kind of message I'm going to put under there, but what kind of engraving are you thinking? Like laser engraving? Hand engraving? I know a guy that does some pretty nice stuff, but he charges $350 a side, and he does it all by hand. Oh, you want laser done? Okay. Yeah, I can't help with that one. Yeah. If you stick around for a little while until my other phone can charge, I'll show you what he did with his. He's left-handed, which is always fun. But he carries a Sebenza, and he decided that he wanted it to look nicer. So he hand engraved paisleys on both sides, which is about what I would want. $350. Um, you know how they do engraving on rings? If you want to look him up on Instagram, I think his Instagram handle is Waltz Made. Not diamond bits, tool steel kind of stuff. Yeah, if you look up, I think that's his thing. Waltz Made on Instagram. You'll have to scroll back a little bit. He's here in Boise too. Yeah, I'm not really putting much effort into that one. Is it the right guy? Or was I just like completely wrong on the name? Yeah, he does pistol, what are they called? Slides. But yeah, I asked for a quote a few months ago, I think, and he said, I'm pretty sure it was $350 a side. Thing is, with me being the way that I am, it would have to be both sides. And if I'm doing that to a knife, right, it's going to be an Nkosi. It's going to be all across the front of it, all across the back, and I'm having inch milling done for weight reduction. You don't do shit like that and then not double down on everything. Liquid Grin, what's up? Welcome back. But yeah, he does some amazing stuff. And of course, I enjoy backing local guys because who wouldn't, right? Ooh, you know what I should really do? There's a guy on Facebook that does buy, sell, trade stuff all the time. I should really talk to him and trade something for this. I want this gone so bad. So bad. I want nothing to do with it. I want to check messages and see. Double check the quote that I got. Hell yeah, I got the name right for once. Yeah, $3.50 per side. Yeah, I don't want store credit. Well, I mean, I kind of do. Do you think Blade HQ would pay me for this? I've seen them sell used stuff before. It doesn't happen often. Chinese made. It's one of the two knives, I think, that blew up the dude's company. What a decision. What a wild decision. I noticed that. The thing is, when you blow up your company the way that he did, nobody wants to buy your shit anymore. Not only do they not want to buy your shit, but they don't want to support you anymore. Oh, I'm sure he does. I think I'm going to bring this one to a 3K. I don't do that often, but if I'm going to try and move it, then make it look as nice as I can. But yeah, I'm sure his designs are cool. It's just, you know, when you fuck over everybody and double down on it, you can't come back from that. I have not. Bark River, that was just... That was really dumb. They replaced 154 CM with 9 CR. And said, it's just as good. It kind of sounds to me like they did it on purpose. You know? It sounds like they got tired of running a company and decided, well, we'll make some more money off these ones and then we'll be done. Because I can't think of another reason why you'd blow up a company like that. I mean, I think they came out and said that it was a different steel. So good on them for doing that, at least. Who didn't? What now? As stupid as it sounds, I kind of feel bad for the dealers. you know? Oh, they did after they got found. Okay, that's what you meant. That's sad. But yeah, I feel kind of bad for the dealers that got fucked over in the situation. My local pawn shop has a Bark River whatever model for sale for like 400, and I told the guy, "Good luck selling that with the controversy going on. That thing isn't going to move. $400." It's kind of like this one, right? It's my fault that I didn't do the research before buying this one. So I've had trouble selling it for that reason. The pawn shop buying that one, the uh the Bark River, that was definitely their fault. What are you thinking about sending me? I just use a PO box. So it's not like getting an address is a big huge deal or anything. Oh, I'm actually pretty happy with my strops, to be honest. I don't think that I'd replace them. And if I did, I have a set of strops that Aiden sent in that have aluminum bases and everything. They're really nice. I don't have the diamond emulsion that I want to use on them, so I haven't pulled them out. I appreciate the offer, though. It just feels like a waste having a ton of things that I don't use, right? Oh, I actually really like that one. I made it myself. Bought the leather off of Amazon for like 13 bucks. Got like 36 inches of it or whatever, and yeah. Oh yeah, no problem. I just feel bad wasting other people's talent when it's probably never going to be used. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's not that it's going to be a bad thing. It's just I have stuff that I'm happy with that's good enough. The stuff that I have treats me very well. Now my pants are all wet from me wiping this stuff off. Oh yeah. Trust me, if I was having issues, I would probably accept the offer. It's funny because I see all these videos of people, they make their fancy ass strop and they glue it to a piece of wood, and frankly, this is more than good enough. But I see them put all this effort into this shit, and waste of time. Ooh. It's not very often that I go after a full mirror polish. Because, like I've said before, there's no benefit to bringing it up to a full mirror. It's the truth. The truth hurts sometimes. Okay. I want to make this very clear. That was an amazing cut. Okay? 3000 grit, 5 micron diamond emulsion, and then stainless steel polish. Right? 500 grit. And then diamond emulsion, and that's it. Same shit. It does the same shit. There's no reason to go beyond 1000 grit. Unless you're going for aesthetics, of course, because damn, that thing looks nice. I still fucked up on the edge in one spot. And that's my fault for going at a wrong angle, but I want what I paid for it, which was too much. I paid $240 for it plus shipping is what I want. Because I don't know how much it's going to cost to ship that box. China Star, welcome back. It's still a great knife. It's got some controversy around it, you know? Yeah, beyond aesthetics, there's almost no reason to go above 1,000. We were talking about that the other night. I wouldn't think that it would be impossible. It's hard to move. It really is. I expected it to move a lot faster than it did. I think I've had it for 3 or 4 months. The thing is, originally I was asking 280, and I haven't had a single person that's actually interested in it. I gotta replace the thumb studs. The thumb studs on this one move a little bit sometimes. And with them also being the stop pin, the open stop pin, that's not a great thing. Oh yeah, I consistently have my low grit edges better. Okay. So I have to push down and tighten. And then really push down and then... Okay. Leave it there for a few minutes, because every time that I've done it so far, I don't leave it, and then it starts doing stuff, and I don't want it moving at all. Bobrick, what's up? So just the way this thing is designed, it has a slight bit of blade play. Oh, yeah, nope, not as bad as it was. Good. I've been trying to fix that one for a little bit. I don't understand the pull of 3V. What's so good about it? Part of this is me wanting to start a conversation, but the other part of it is me genuinely wondering, because I don't know a whole lot about 3V specifically. I've never really looked into it all that far. I would assume it's a toughness designed steel, not a... I know it's not stainless. It kind of seems like it's just meh. K390 I could understand, because I know the edge retention on that stuff's pretty good. With me, though, I just don't care about toughness. I have never played with 4V. I own some, and I've never played with it. So just for shits and giggles, I have to check his website out and look into 3V. High toughness, decent edge retention. So it's like D2, but tough. Yeah, it's like crew wear, but more tough and less wear resistance by the looks of it. Yeah, I just don't see the appeal. Where's it been tested? Let's see what hardness was the Catra tested on. 3V. Lower edge retention than 154 cm, but it was tested at 60 HRC, so yeah, that's what the website says anyway. Nitro V's shit, though. I will always stand by that. And you can't change my mind. Nitro V is garbage. And anybody who says otherwise either has a custom or they've never seen just how bad it can get. So what do you guys think? Should I send this thing in? Heat treat wise. So Nitro V doesn't like being heat treated in large ovens. So production knives in Nitro V have and a disproportionately high amount of terrible heat treats. Right? I've had 5 knives in Nitro V, and 2 out of the 5 had a heat treat that was softer than any other steel I've ever handled, other than the obvious, like, Walmart shit. Like, it's obvious that this thing's going to be soft, but when you get a baby banter that's just as soft as this, I'm going to start complaining a little bit. Yeah, but we're talking about Civivi, not Kaiser. I've told myself I'm never going to buy another knife in Nitro V. For me to keep, anyway. Yeah, Nitro V is just garbage. And anybody who says otherwise has been lucky, we'll put it that way. It's like 14C, but worse. And more expensive. At least I think it's more expensive. Let me double check on that one real quick. Because 14C has better toughness. And slightly worse edge retention. No kidding. Check if New Jersey Steel Baron sells both steels. Alloys. Standard stainless steels. 14C, 154, 416, 440, AEBL, AEBL HR, N690, Nitro V. Okay. How thick of a blade would we want? Width, 1 inch. Finish. Wide belt ground. – . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Okay. So I want to make sure 330 seconds. What's that? Number wise. Because I've got 125 thou. I don't remember what that is, like an eighth or something. Yeah, that's an eighth. We're going to go with an eighth. It's going to be 12 inches long, and it's going to have a belt ground finish. And it's going to be an inch wide. And this one is $16.95. And then that's Nitro V. We'll go with 14C. 14C might be more expensive. Are you shitting me? I can only choose that? Fuck. Damn it, guys. Fine. Width. 1. How much would this cost? $14.85. We'll go back and do the same thing. So this one has to be the thinnest. 1 inch. Length 12. It is $2 more expensive for 14C. Still going with 14C. That's going to equal out to, like, in bulk, maybe 20 cents a blade. More expensive for 14C. I can't imagine people using, well, I can. I'm going to be disappointed in 5 years when Nitro V is still being used, though. Very, very disappointed. Yeah, I think I might reach out to Blade HQ and see if they'll give me credit for this one. I doubt it, being that it's not like new in box. The Rat 2 was too small, and the Rat 1 was too big. Anyway, I'll call them and see if they're interested. I hate the flipper tab on this thing. Because the flipper tab is so small. Anyway, I'll reach out to Blade HQ and see if they'd be interested. If not, then continue on trying to trade it for something. Yeah, it looks cool, but it's not very functional. I fail to deploy it more than half the time. I don't know. Something in titanium. I'm pretty picky with my trades, so I don't really enjoy trading. I don't do it very often. Nothing from Benchmade. I can guarantee you that one. No, I don't want to re-even trade for that. That wouldn't be a good trade. I'm pretty fair on my trades, I'd like to think. I'm still leaning towards the selling it part, though. There's some knives from Blade HQ that I want. And if they'd be willing to give me credit that I consider worth it, then I'd do that. Speaking of, I haven't checked their bargain bin in a while. No, I'm tired of them. They have fucked me over one too many times. I might buy some to sell, but other than that, that sounds hilarious. Oh, I can find their number. I probably have it saved in my contacts. About the only two Benchmades that I like are my Mini Adamas and my Griptilian. The only reason I won't get rid of this one is if I do, then I don't have very many knives in S90V, and I feel like I'm missing out. Honestly, now that I think about it, I could probably sell this thing and then get a Pyrotech Saga and be happy. Instead of this thing, which isn't a bad knife. I put aftermarket washers in it. It's a great knife. It's got better blade stability than they have from factory. That one's a great knife. It's just too lightweight for me, and to be honest, that's about the only thing that I have to complain about on it. I love the steel. I like how carbon fiber looks. I prefer titanium, but I like how it looks. It would be very nice with full liners. I don't like aluminum, so ProTech is, for the most part, out of the question. Most push-button autos are out of the question for that reason as well. It's too squishy, right? Aluminum, when you drop it, it deforms like if you dropped silly putty or Play-Doh or something like that. Just about anything will make it dent, and I don't want that. Squeak. I forgot this chair did that. It hasn't done that in a while. Probably because I stopped streaming for so long. Yeah, the Avalon's huge. A 4-inch blade is... it's a lot. It is a lot. My Miguron's a piece of shit. It's funny because you see all these people talking about this new knife comes out, it's got a great heat treat, and then everything else about it sucks. But they recommend it anyway. I was thinking, there's a reason I didn't make a video on this one. Other than, the short that I made on it, just to show it off, right? When I first got it, it was a pretty decent knife. Pretty comfortable. It flicks really easy. It has a locking mechanism that I developed as well, but they developed it and used it first anyway. But this thing developed blade play from hell, and no matter how far you tighten it, it won't stop touching both sides of the scales, like each scale. There's nothing I can do about that. The problem with that is, because it taps both scales when it goes from side to side, the scale is stopping it. When it's open, the scales don't stop it. It just goes further and further. And there's nothing that they're going to do about it. My pivot's tight. I've heard multiple people having issues with their pocket clips just snapping. No, it's on bearings. I could see it being that the hole in the blade is too large. I could see that being an issue. One of my I've got a Spyderco with an aftermarket blade, and the aftermarket blade had a hole that was too small, so I opened the hole up a little bit too wide, and now it has blade play, and you can't get rid of it. I didn't realize that it had to be that tight of tolerances, but there you go. My fault. Yeah, I got a Mordax a while back from a pawn shop, and then I instantly turned around and sold it. I sold it within like 2 days of owning it. Because I bought it to sell it. You know, I wanted to make some money. Yes, never open your hole too wide. Or else you'll have blade play. I keep threatening to sell that thing to a pawn shop, and I never end up doing it. The money would be very helpful right about now, though. I'm not going to take it apart to figure it out right now. But yeah, I think the more money I can save up, the faster I can buy 2 knives that I really want. That's going to be an expensive day. It's going to be 400. Let's see. I got to convince Blade HQ to buy some Pyrotech Sagas. Specifically, I want the bead blasted version, and if they don't do that, then or if they won't buy them for me, at least one, then I'll just buy a TRM instead. The project was canceled. We have the prototypes in hand. They just the project was canceled due to lack of funding. I thought that we could do better. I'm being 100% honest when I say that. I did like their fit and finish, though. So with that being the case, I'm going to design another knife specifically to have made through them. If it goes well, of course, I'll be funding the whole thing, which is fucking expensive, by the way. Speaking of, I got to reach out to them and ask how much it would cost for them to do a batch of 20 in M42, because I really want to try that stuff out. I'm definitely losing money on those ones. Yeah. I think that if we can get it heat treated right, it's going to be the next best super steel. The next best budget super steel. It whoops D2 easily. I just know nothing about the toughness. No, I wouldn't be having these made again. I learned a lot through having these made. We didn't pay for these ones. These ones were free. But you know, I want to design my own shit. But I do have to ask them how much it would cost. Here's the thing, right? It's going to be expensive. I know that. Ooh, that's a good point. I was talking to them a while back because I wanted to have their an exclusive. You know how knife designers and YouTubers have been doing their own deal lately where they reach out to a company and say, "Hey, can you make this knife in this steel and put my name on it?" So they have their own um, collaboration stuff. And I liked the thought of that. So I reached out to them and I asked, how much would it cost to have you guys do a batch of 20 of, let me show you the model that I'm looking into. If I were to do one of their models anyway, it would be these in titanium scales and M390. The problem with this is I don't have $1,500, and that's how much they'd charge for me to have them made. Probably shouldn't be talking about that, but you know, I can just make it so this stream doesn't show up ever again. Anyway, so it's $75 a knife to have them made. Or if I ordered 100 of them, it would be, give me a sec. Nope. 4,500 divided by 100. It's $45 a piece. Duh. You can tell that I haven't slept. So it'd be $45 a piece and end up being 4,500 total if I bought 100 of them. I don't know if I could move them. Right? I don't know how interested you guys are in buying stuff like that. I don't have $4,500 to throw into it. That's the problem. I still don't have $1,500 for the 20 that I wanted. But I need to move them. You know, I need to be able to sell them. Well, that's the fun part. It's going to be me. So I thought about that and I was like, you know, why not just have my own design done and leave it at that? So that way, like, they're involved in making it, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to pay them for it. I won't. I'm not paying for advertising. I might give them a knife. Whoop-de-doo, right? So I want to do testing with M42. Ask them. I was just going to ask them how much it costs to have. What do you guys think is the best handle material for the price? I'm leaning on G10 because I don't like micarta, but what other options do we have? Micarta, G10, shredded G10. Richlight, that is an option. I forgot about that. It's not really new, but it's more prevalent now. I think this model's been around for a couple of years, and it's in Richlight. So here's what I have going on in my head, because if you're going to sell this to people, you have to please as many people as possible with the same materials, right? Richlight's paper micarta, and I don't know how stable it is. I don't know if it's has issues with chemicals, and I expect people to abuse these things. With that being said, the materials I know I'm okay with are G10 because it just handles shit really well. Grade 2 titanium, not grade 5 because I'm not dropping the extra money for it. It's like 7 times more expensive to get grade 5. Not worth it. Wood's out of the question. Micarta is a maybe. And I hate aluminum. So at the moment, we've got G10, possible micarta, and carbon fiber. I've seen carbon fiber get damaged. How often do you guys see carbon fiber delaminate? This is an important question because if it happens often when you drop your knife, I don't expect people to drop them all the time, but somebody's going to. Too much? Pretty rare. God, I don't like risks on stuff, right? Okay. I've seen some cracking on my buddy. My buddy's got a Chris Reeve Large and Cozy, and it fell on the tip right here, and it splintered. The carbon fiber splintered because he had a Knife Art exclusive. I don't want to see that happen, so obviously I'd need rounded corners if I do choose carbon fiber. But I also don't like how lightweight carbon fiber feels. Of course, I'll be having full liners, so weight isn't going to be a huge issue. I think carbon fiber also costs just about as much as titanium, so that's something to keep in mind. I think G10 is 2/3 of the cost of carbon. I'm not 100% sure on that one. It's been a while since I've talked about this kind of stuff. I don't like that. The carbon layer on top of G10 makes me feel like I'm lying. It is very much about the cost. Because what I want you guys to keep in mind is I'm dropping a shit ton of money on these things, and I'm going to break like 5 of them. So 5 of them are just going right out the door as is. I'm going to snap the blade on them. That's just how it's going to work. Milled G10. That's not a terrible option. You know, that might be the one. Give it a little bit of grip. I don't want to go with the frag pattern because that just shreds pockets, but if you could go with an inline like starburst pattern from the pivot, that would look pretty good. I like that. I do like the milled G10 idea. I might go with that one. Okay, so next up we have another question. How big of bearings do we want? The larger the bearings, I want to go starburst going away from the pivot though. So it goes in line all the way down. So it'll probably go like that. I don't want to go from the center because I've seen that and I just don't really like it. I was thinking washers, right? But I think bearings are cheaper. And the idea is I'm going with a set of bearings that I know can be replaced with skiffs. Okay? So it's a guarantee that it'll fit with skiff washers or bearings if you choose to go that route. The next mandatory thing, as stupid as it sounds, is I want them all to have a backspacer that's too thick. When I get them, I'll thin down the backspacer to where it's perfect, and then I'll sell them like that. But before then, I don't want them going through and doing their own thing and making them as close to. I don't care. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I was thinking about that too, but again, it just doubles the cost of another part. If I throw in, yeah, you say that. Is it gonna bother you guys if I like turn the camera off and go over and sit in a chair that isn't uncomfortable? I'm curious how many of you guys are gonna leave when I start or when I do that. I don't know how much washers are, but I know that bearings and washers almost cost the same. It might be like 40. 40 times 20 pieces. It adds up really quick. I don't want to keep the camera on. Go sit with the camera on. I don't want to. I just want my lower back to stop hurting. It doesn't make a difference to you. Every dollar matters to me. I'm not going to tell you how much these things cost, because I'm just not. But they're cheap. Anyway. No, you don't. And that's great. But you're not the one that's paying for 20 to 100 of them. You're paying for one. The upfront cost is what sucks. If I can sell... Do you guys think this is fair? Of course, I still want to save up enough for my my custom and a Pyrotech Saga. But if after I have that money, if I sold the rest of the Reeves that I don't want, do you guys think that I should go for it? Oh, then I gotta set up an LLC. Well, I was gonna do that anyway. Oh, then I gotta do taxes on my LLC. God, all the shit that comes with business. Fucking government getting in everything. Oh, what a pain. What a pain. Business is a pain. A very big pain. I need to come up with a business name that isn't KO Knives. It's because M42 isn't commonly used yet. But I think once people see the edge retention you get out of M42, it'll become significantly more popular. Yep. How about no? What? How often do you use a gun and a drone to open an Amazon package, dude? We're talking about things that you carry to open packages and cut food, not stuff like that, bro. Take a chill pill. Anyway, continuing on. Drones can drop knives on targets. You know, when Amazon starts delivering shit with drones, I'm not looking forward to when they drop my knife 60 feet in the air and land it in my backyard. It doesn't sound very appealing to me. Oh, I don't mind what guns people own. It's not a big deal. Scented Mineral Oil LLC? No. Here's the thing, I want separate businesses, right? I want one for the American made stuff and one for the Chinese made stuff. I don't want I don't want them being under the same name because I've seen what that does and it doesn't work out well. Kershaw did the right thing, having ZT and Kershaw as separate entities. What do you guys think? Should I do just one name, one business name, and leave it at that? Do one name? It's going to cost less in setting it all up. I might go with one name, and if so, then Stonewashed LLC. No, I already have one in mind. It was going to be for the American-made side of things, but if I'm going to do both under the same name, then might as well. Yeah, Spyderco split. They did Bird. No, they also have Chinese-made Spydercos. Yeah, that's true. All of Knives Suck LLC. No. I don't need to be too on the nose like that. Come on. True. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Talk to a tax guy and get some help. Useless Knives Co. That's not how it works. It's Useless Knives LLC, first of all. It's a limited liability company. I don't want CO at the end of that. Screw that. I'll stick with my LLC. That's also true. I use my knives significantly more than I use my firearms. Cardboard Strop LLC. That's great. That's a good throwback. Every time you bring it up, I almost forget that I used to use cardboard for stropping. And it worked, mind you. Worked pretty damn well, too. I need new SATC stone. These boxes are very expensive. I'm not going to rip open a package with a box that adds value to a $500 knife and possibly damage that box. It's not worth it to me. But I'm very happy with my knives, so. I have 6 of them. Why wouldn't it be a centerpiece of my life? Oh, he just doesn't get it. It's okay. Anyway, continuing on. I gotta send them that message and get a quote. Oh yeah. Have it. Okay, so what handle material are we going with, guys? I know it's rage baiting. I'm not concerned about it. G10. I kind of want to start with G10. I haven't tested Richlight enough to be milled G10. What is peel ply? Not plain G10. Gmaskus, that's gonna add some cost. Oh, yeah, okay. No, that's this stuff. This stuff's peel ply. Where it's got texture, permanent texture. Not that you guys can see it, of course not. We could go with that. That would be a lot cheaper than milling. I like the thought of it. Yeah, that's another problem is it's not unique. I would hope that people would see a new blade steel and be like, "Oh, what's this stuff?" But I don't know. Maybe peel ply with a little bit of milling done. Maybe. It's easy to get people excited about edge retention. I promise you that shouldn't be a problem. Oh, it's gonna have chamfered edges anyway. That's what they did on these. God, it looks like shit because it won't focus. But yeah, these are peel ply with chamfered edges. It looks fine. It's just a handle. Who cares? Me. It's my shit. Of course I care. Colors make a difference. They do. I'm not going to ban the guy because there's no point. It's more entertaining to get one person that completely disagrees with me than it is to have everybody that agrees with me. Yeah. This thing's heavy as shit. The liners are the same thickness as the blade. So this one is 6 ounces. Yeah, that is a kind of funny way of thinking about it. It's like, you're right, it is like not getting to choose what color paint goes on your car. That's a good way of looking at it. But not only what paint, but what texture maybe maybe what the seat material is. Yeah, I don't understand that either. I'm more saying that so one of my moderators doesn't get the idea of getting rid of you. Because I don't see a point in having that happen. Prototypes aren't up for sale. When I have my prototypes made, they'll be up for sale, but these ones aren't. The plan is if we ever decide to move forward with production on those, we need all of the prototypes to be able to free speech to a degree. I'll agree with that, but we need to be able to send them out for testing if we decide to move on with the project. I doubt it'll happen. That's the honest truth, is I doubt that it'll happen, but if it does, we need all 20 of them. But yeah, you're right. Back to the message. Just out of curiosity, how much would a folding knife with a, what do we think? 3 1/4 inch blade? Three and a quarter or 3 1/2? 3 1/4 is a good happy medium. 3 1/2 is what I'd consider a large knife. Anything above 3 1/2, I'm perfectly fine up until 4 inches. 3 1/2, 3 1/2 and under. Like this one's 3.7 and I'm perfectly fine with this. I won't do under 3 inches though. The same reason I won't do under or over 4. Because when people buy these knives and they see them, they see them in pictures and it's appealing, but then once they get it and it's tiny, they're not very happy. And same thing with like a 4.2 inch blade. People don't think about that. They think, oh, this knife looks nice. And then you get it in your hand and it's like this big. And you decide that's way too fucking big and then you return it. It's not, 4 inches isn't as big as you'd think for a folder. It's more of the handle size. Where this one has a 4-inch blade, but the handle's like 5 to 5 1/4 inches long. Which is stupid because you really don't need that last half inch right there. So 3.3. That's a good happy medium. 3.35 maybe, I could do that. So 3.35 liner lock. Cut out for the liner lock because god damn, some of these things are hard to close. When you got to shove your finger, your thumb in there, it right there, it's just not comfortable. I like the way they did it with the Sebenza, where they have a huge cutout for the thumb, and the way that we did it on the IGS prototype. That one turned out really good. A lot of thumb contact. It worked out really well. Not going to do it. Button liner locks are a bitch and a half to work on. I discontinued my idea. I was designing a button actuated liner lock, and that thing, designing the general shape took 3 hours, and then designing the locking mechanism around the blade also took 3 hours. And the locking mechanism is literally just a button with a bar that connects it to the liner lock. And that's it. Frankly, the liner lock is just so much easier. So much easier. Adam Smith, I have a proposition for you. I want you to go onto Tinkercad. You have 40 hours to design a functional knife. My first knife design took 90. So, go for it. Mind you, it needs to have functional screws and functional screw heads. Have fun. Okay, that's fine. That's why I gave you 40. Sure, it is just a knife. But when you're sitting there, you know, smacking your head saying 3 hours, I'm giving you 40 hours to design a whole functional knife. It's a free children's 3D modeling software. It's what I use because it's free. And frankly, I got used to it in high school. So if you think that you can do it in 40 hours or less, go for it. I would love, genuinely love to see what you come up with. Cool. Maybe. Who knows? Is that pronounced Joanna? I'm curious because I know there's like 2 ways of pronouncing that, maybe 3. That's why you don't buy different looking knives. Yeah. Cool. Got it right. First try. Where was I going with this? Different. This thing. I wish more people did proper testing with this one before I bought mine. This was one of those ones that I did hop on the bandwagon because I wanted to try out D2. Sweet. But these things have been riddled with issues ever since people actually started using them. A good chunk of them just had a shit ton of problems, and it has me questioning and regretting my decision. Yeah. They really screwed up on those ones. Broken pocket clips on a regular basis. Blade play on more than one knife. Mine chipped. I mean, I kind of figured that was going to happen, but, you know, I had hopes. I think they need to crack down on their quality control, though. Other than that, I was fairly happy with the knife, though. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't want to miss out and screwed myself over. It happens. So let's see. Get me a piece of cardboard real quick and start writing. Is this empty? No? Okay. Thought that was empty. Piece of cardboard and start writing down some stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna go recycle that. Oh, paper. That's just as good as cardboard. Except I'll probably forget it when I bring it to the library to design a new knife. Oh, my fault. I don't need my address accidentally popping up. Okay. 3.35 inch blade. G10 scales, liner lock. Milled if possible. M42 blade steel. Not that that matters for 3D modeling, but it's something I need to keep in mind because I don't know how tough this blade steel is. Thickness. 1/8. .3. Yeah, 3.35. Oh, come on. That did not happen. Blade. What? Drop point. What now? Shit, you're not going to be fun when you walk around a knife show, buddy. I was sitting there fidgeting with this thing the entire time that I was at my most recent knife show. Spear point? For losers. And let me guess, you go to SHOT Show? I think drop point. What shape of drop point though? Because there's plenty of different shapes that you can go with. I don't like the spear point all that much. I kind of like this. Pokemon shows mostly. The fuck are you doing there? Please don't tell me you're a reseller. Oh, thank God. I was about to be like, dude, he's a reseller, ban him. Okay, I like this blade shape, so we're probably going to go with something along this line. 2.5 inch, we can do better than that, but I do want to have a record of the blade shape while I'm there. So Okay. It's a great blade shape. It's actually treated me pretty well. And I think we all know what I mean by resellers. Do you think I don't own guns? Genuine question. Like, I own a shit ton of knives, but I do own guns. Yes, I meant scalpers, not reseller. Because I resell stuff, but I don't buy shit up as soon as it shows up, and then it's all gone, and then make a shit ton of profit over MSRP all the time. I own 2 at the moment, and I'm looking into a third. But with me dropping all my money on knives, upkeep on firearms isn't exactly the best option that I have. Just don't. Yeah, it's not going to have. I think I'm going to go with. Do I want a blade hole? Or do I want thumb studs? Flipper tab, no flipper tab. Thumb studs. If I'm doing, I'm likely doing 2 opening mechanisms because I don't like having just a flipper. It's one of the reasons why I decided the Rask probably isn't going to be my next purchase, is because of that. It only has a flipper. I like having more than one way of opening, so you're talking about the Bonneville, right? Okay, you have a good one. I'm sure the Rask is an amazing knife. I'm 100% sure about that. I just wanted something with a better blade steel and more opening options. You were doubting the Canadians at first. Nah, they make good shit. They're also really good at committing war crimes. I mean, creating war crimes. That's probably the better way of looking at it. You mean a brandishing charge? Yeah. Yeah, I fidget with my knives all the time. It's kind of hard to fidget with firearms in public. That tends to be more frowned upon. Okay. 3 in. Yeah. Dude, I would love to have a Holt. I got my hands on a Holt Morpheus the other day. Holy shit, those things are smooth. I'm just going to stick a thumb stud on it. If I get a Rask, it's going to end up with an aftermarket thumb stud, and that's just how it is. I don't know if it'll fit, though, is my problem. Where's it going with this? Blade thickness. What are we thinking, guys? Get me a set of calipers real quick, and we'll do some measuring. I want it to be thick enough to be tough because I'm not very confident in the toughness of this blade steel. Okay. I think this one's too thick, but we'll just measure it and see what it's sitting at. Oh. So that's thinner than an eighth. Hmm. Well, how thick? This one's 3 millimeter. I know that. I don't know how much that is in inches though. 120. 120 thou. How thick is 3.5? Is that like Spyderco thickness or? That's too thick. 3.5 is too thick. 3.25. I'm thinking full flat. I want something similar to 100% honest, right? I want a bug out with a liner lock and that blade shape. Again, the problem being it's going to be way heavier than that. Of course, full liners and with an experimental steel. What? No, I'm fine with. I want everything that's going to make it a good knife. It's going to be thicker than this too. I just like how this one feels. No, liner lock because I prefer liner lock. I don't want to copy this knife exactly, right? Maybe a high flat. You guys might be right about that one. I don't know. A full flat looks good though. I don't like the thought of compression lock. Mm, I do have a native 5. I'm glad I bought this thing, by the way. This thing's really. I wouldn't mind having a full flat. Okay, everybody says full flat, so we'll go full flat. Yeah, this one's just a little bit thicker than a Sebenza. How much is that in inches? 125. 125 thou. We'll go with 125 thou. That feels good. Full flat. Let me write these down. I like where this is going. lockback. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I would love to have a lockback version of this. A lockback version of the bug out. I'm not going to, but here's the thing. In all honesty, if we went with a lockback, I could make this thing a lot cheaper. Probably. Just do it. Should I? Lockbacks do last longer. They wear in better. I'll make one of each version. I'll make one that's a liner lock, or I'll design one that's a liner lock and design one that's a back lock. We'll see which one ends up looking better. I have to ask, if I went with a lockback, would you guys be disappointed if I used either FRN scales or just G10 scales with no liners? Either that or thin liners and thin scales. Oh, they're smooth. I have to ask that because... Okay. So thin liners, thin scales. How thick are the scales on this one? Because I do like the thickness of these. 150. 150. Okay. So scales are going to be 75 thou, and liners are also 0.75. How thick are the bug outliners? It'll be 50% thicker than the bug outliners. Because they're 50 thousandths instead of 75. I like that. KC3, how's it going? We're talking about a new knife design. I'm gonna wait on that message to them until I have this knife designed, fully 3D modeled anyway. Oh, you like the thought of the liner on one side and the scale on the other? I don't mind that. My problem with those is I've grown so used to titanium frame locks. Seeing a knife without a lock bar insert bothers me. Because I sit there and think, you could just put a lock bar insert in there. And then as the knife gets older and wears in, um, if it wears out, then you can just replace the lock bar insert and leave it at that. I like repairability down the line. That's something I appreciate. Preferably not. That would really suck. But I like it when people can repair their own shit. So you send like on production models, send some extra parts. Just hoping that the blade steel works out. No, they wear about the same. If you're talking about like a liner lock versus, yeah, I don't know where you're going with that. Yeah, Jin is pretty good at setting extra wear parts as well. Specifically the crossbar lock springs. No, titanium will definitely wear faster. But if you have a steel lock bar insert, like most titanium frame locks do, then it's going to wear about the same as a liner lock. The thing is, over time, I've seen liner locks wear out. Yeah, I can't click on that link. Yeah, there's only one section touching. The only part of this frame lock that's actually touching is this corner, right? Right there. That corner is the only part that's touching the this face is this side over here. And that's it. There isn't as much wear area as you think there is, which is why I prefer a replaceable part there. I want these things to last decades when I design them. I design them with, as mean as it may sound, with the idiot in mind. I expect somebody to treat these things like garbage and then yeah, exactly. Anyway, we'll design one that's a back lock, and we'll design one that's a liner lock. Speaking of liner locks, I want to measure how thick a liner lock is. $50 thou? Is there any that's bigger than that? Or is that it? How about you? How thick are you? 50? Was 50 just standard practice? 50? I'm making a chunky knife, I guess. Didn't realize that liner locks were that thin. I'm trusting the ability to use my hand for decades to come to a 50 thousandths thick piece of steel. There we go, 58 instead of 46 that I've been seeing. Yeah, the liners are more than half. The blade thickness is 125, and half of 125 would be 67 and a half. So these are a little bit thicker than half. $57, not bad. $46, yeah, that seems to be pretty common. I'll stick with the 75. It's about 50% thicker than just about every other liner lock I had on the table, so of course, tune them all myself once they get here. If I do the liner lock, I don't know which one I want to do. I wonder how much 50 of them would cost. Yeah, I don't want to practice designing compression locks. That just doesn't sound fun. The back locks aren't terrible. These are actually really easy to design. The liner locks are a little bit harder. Yeah, the depression lock. Pretty much. No, I think I'd call the button actuated liner lock. That one's the depression lock. That took so fucking long to design. So long. I don't know. I think I'm gonna end up doing a liner lock. The usual. Actually, that's not true. I lied. I carried this one today, and it cracked my screen protector. So I'll be I might be getting rid of this one too. oppression Spock. I just realized this thing's going to be awfully close to a TRM. Nice. The recession lock. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it there. No. 4.5 minutes, and then I'm ending it. That'll be 3-hour stream. Do we want a finger choil if I do a lockback? It wouldn't be too big for a slip joint. I think these blades are longer than that one. I understand that you think maybe too wide. You just need to make the handle bigger. Just copy the native. No. Alright, so yes or no on the finger choil. I think we have one yes already. And this is only if it's a back lock. If it's a liner lock, it's not going to have this. Easy way to tell them apart if I ever decide to have both made. This is a flat grind. You could put thumb studs right here. And since it's not going to have a hole anyway, you could put a thumb stud there easily. It's not going to cause any issues. Speaking of, I also do need to write down flat grind. Where's that knife that I stuck thumb studs on? I'm sure the company would find a way to make it work. I'm not really concerned. Oh, I know where it is. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to go with a sharpening choil anyway. What I honestly prefer is just that whole section to be missing. You can tell because a good chunk of my knives just have that section missing. Huh. Oh, there it is. It is indeed a weak spot. Late. I'm never up this early. Just take the thumb stud off this real quick. Well, good morning. See, thumb stud's an option. Hell no, I'm not. God, there's so much stuff on the table. Will it fit on that? No? Damn. That would have been pretty funny. Sticking another thumb stud on my ZT. Yeah. I don't know if it looks this bad. See, what you guys don't see is all of that. Yeah. There's a lot of shit going on this table. I started cleaning it the other day, and then it ended up looking almost exactly the same when I was done. Imagine that. Yeah. True. I think that's 4 inches. Yep, 4 inches. You wish it was 5 inches. For the people who are going to watch this stream later and not realize that I'm talking about how long this knife is, that's going to be a funny conversation. I'm disappointed that that this knife or that this mechanism isn't used very often. I just think that's cool. Missed out on such an opportunity. You know, with scales that didn't suck, this thing would be a badass. And a hollow grind. This thing needs a fucking hollow grind. Now just imagine if you could replace the blade that quickly, right? I got it when it was like 50% off for Father's Day or whatever. And I got free shipping. Overall, the knife sucks. But the mechanism, the Field Strip 2, this mechanism is very, very interesting. Yeah, everybody wants to know how long it is when it's opened. I 100% agree. And it looks like that would be about 7 inches. Not bad, not bad. Anyway, guys, I went over the time again, so it's a 3-hour and 8-minute stream. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your night, day, morning, whatever it is. And we'll see you in the next one.